Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for tuning in. Today I actually thought it was a very important idea to talk about dividends and why I'm a very big fan of dividends. There's a lot of people who really dislike dividends and they think that dividends are irrelevant. But I hate to say it, they are very wrong. And of course, everybody has different styles of investing, and you can definitely make money anyway. And my most important thing that I always recommend to everybody is invest, do something. Because when you're sitting on your money's not doing anything for you. Your money's not your friend when it's still. Your money is your best friend when it's moving around and trying to make you some money. Now, the reason why dividends are really good. And so sorry again, still sick, so I might be breathing very heavy in this. But the reason why dividends aren't relevant is because I think Kevin O'Leary said it best, but he said, "What's the value of a stock that never returns capital back to its shareholders?" And some people take it and they're like, "I could just sell my stock if I would like to," and that's great. But the reason why I accumulate assets is not because I want to sell anything. I just want my assets to drop a bunch of money in my bank account, which is technically what a dividend does. It's kind of the most passive thing you can do to make you money. You literally do nothing, and on the beginning of a month, at the beginning of the quarter, at the beginning of the year, you get a dividend payout. So my dividend portfolio by itself, excuse me, has has a good amount of investment in where I'm making around 5 figures a month, and that is fantastic for me. It actually pays for all of my lifestyle expenses, but I don't take any of the money out. The reason why is I'm able to reinvest, and this is one of the most important reasons why I like dividends is because I don't need to hold on to the same company. I can take that money and buy a different company or buy a different index. I can do what I want to do with that money. And that's important to me because I don't want to have to look at my portfolio today and it's down 5% and I have to sell it because I'm trying to buy a different position. That makes no sense for me. And in volatile markets like the ones that we were at, where you have Tesla and you drop down 50%, I of course I hold Tesla, but if I was relying on this and I need to sell it today to make money or to buy a different investment, I would be kind of messed up. It doesn't make sense to do that. What does make sense is I rely on the income that all these businesses produce. Now, some people will say the dividend is not guaranteed, and that is very true. However, the only reason you should invest in a company that you like, that you are looking for its dividend, is because you know that that dividend is very reliable. For example, Reality Income, which is one of my favorite stocks and one of my biggest holdings. Reality Income pays me almost $1,000 a month based on all the shares that I have. And that's crazy amounts of money. Sorry, not 1,000, just around half of that. But it gives me so much income, and the reason why I love it is because Reality Income has grown their dividend every quarter since its inception in 1994. So in 30 years, it's beat the S&P 500 if you keep reinvesting its dividends. And what this allows me to do, since Reality Income pays every month, is I can just rebuy more shares, increase my likeness in the portfolio. And some other people also say that when a stock gives off a dividend, it does bring the price of the stock down, and which is true. However, I would like to purchase the stock when it's discounted rather than when it's increased. And oftentimes, this 1% drop is not something you're going to see because oftentimes the market goes way over it. So, from the cases I've seen, it has not made too much of a relevance. And so another thing people always say is taxes as well. Now, let's just say, for example, you are in a tax account, so account that is being taxed. You do have to pay tax every month on those dividends. However, if you grow those dividends to, let's just say, 2, 3 thousand, and it's paying for your life expenses, that's a lot cheaper in taxes that you have to pay compared to, oh, I have to sell this now and I'm having $100,000 profit. And again, like the whole thing is, what if the market falls by 10% and you were relying on that money? It's not a good situation to be in. So no dividend is irrelevant, and I think dividend, if you invest in good quality companies that have a good track record of growing dividends and not cutting up, then you're safe, and then you can actually have a very reliable source of income, and that can help you grow. Now, in the last video, I said I almost invest $2,000 by myself into the S&P 500. Yes, I do, and $2,000 I actually don't use any of my own money. It's actually from just the dividends that I make that I just keep reinvesting into at the S&P 500 because I do believe in growth stocks. But that does not mean that I'm not going to be looking towards income stocks as well. You have to kind of have a mixed bag. And again, if you're able to make enough dividends in 5 to 10 years, that lets you retire then awesome. That your dividends can pay for your lifestyle, and you can still keep growing your with the on access of dividends. Now again, you have to make sure these are reliable companies. But if you're able to do it, and you can retire off, let's just say reality income, amazing. More power to you. So don't fall for the slogan that there's just one right way to invest. It's 100% wrong. I think dividend investing has been one of the best forms of actual investing that I've ever had, and it's given me so much opportunity that I would never have. And just saying, when I talked about compounding last time, where you can have $1 to $5 million versus by the time you retire in 30 to 45 years. Now, let me put that in a scenario for you. Imagine you did all that in a tax preferred account. So, like for example, a TSFA, which is like a tax free savings account, where all the money that grows in there is tax free. And what if you did that in a Roth IRA as well? The same thing, just in the USA. If you do that, and now you have reliable dividend income, all that dividends are tax free, which now means you just have a complete source of free money. And when people say that, oh, the stock drops because the stock's value is lower, yes, sure it does. But if I'm buying the stock, that's going to be great news for me because I'll get it at 1 or 2% discount, which is always loved. But secondly, if you check the actual price targets, when it pays a dividend, it doesn't go down. It now logistically is supposed to, but it doesn't always, because the markets are not reasonable. Markets are always volatile in the short-term market because of emotion, not because of actual common sense. So over 30 years, yes, it will correct itself. However, I'll just be taking advantage of that the entire time. And so like some stats that I'll just pull up for you. Just again, I want you guys to see why I love reality income. And again, there's hundreds of stocks that you can do. It's not just reality income, but let's just say, for example, you spent $500 a month for the last 30 years, and you put it into reality income. So with a 10% average return, which is what you would have had with reinvesting your dividends, you would have been at 1.13 million. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Now, let's look at how much dividends you'd be making. You'd be making over 5,000 dividends a month, which is 60,000, which is the average income. So that means today's money, if you had done this 30 years ago, which of course I didn't, I wasn't even born yet, you would be making enough money where you could reasonably retire. And again, if you're in a tax savings account, then you would have to pay no tax. So just want to show you that there's no right way to invest. And again, if you start early, start building your dividends, I think you can create a reasonable portfolio. And again, make sure you also invest in your growth stocks. All right, there's not one right way to do it, and you're not delusional for doing one or the other. If you're doing anything at all, props to you. At least you're doing something. So if you take anything from this, I'm happy to hear it. And again, I'm not recommending that you invest into reality income. However, I would highly recommend take a look at it. I do personally think that it is about $10 short per stock. And what I mean by that is from the amount of income it's producing, from how safe and reliable their income is. And again, they have over a 99% tenancy rate. They have so many tenants, over 1,000 tenants. And they're all in the commercial fields. And with businesses coming back to the USA with these tariff threats, I honestly just think that this company will just continue to grow and grow and grow. And so I think right now we're $10 short. So I got my sister and myself to invest into this company. And I've been investing in this company since 2018. And so far, fantastic. We've had some great dividend income growth on this guy. And like I told you, take a look for yourself. Do your own research. And I would recommend start creating your portfolio. And one last thing before I give this off is a lot of people also like really base on dividends as well. Don't choose a stock based on its dividend yield. Choose based on because if the stock goes down to zero, regardless of whatever its dividend yield is, you're losing money. Sorry about that. So make sure that you choose a reliable company. The dividends are the second best part. They're not the main. If the business is not going to make money, then then why buy it? So if the business is making good money, and dividends are just the icing on top. Thank you again for listening, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Please subscribe if you learned anything at all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.